Brock, opening statement for the season. What's excitement level and what are your expectations for 2022?
Yeah, I think that there's like a carryover from last year, a little chip on the shoulder from being one game shy of winning conference, and with our core group of guys returning, I think they had a taste of how close they were to kind of finishing it out and winning the conference title last year. So that confidence and that belief is carrying on over into our January practices and the energy and the buzz out here at Fowler Park.
How did you sense that during the off season? What was the off season like? And you mentioned preseason, but how much of that was an extra motivator for you guys coming into this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think when we stepped foot back on campus in September, kind of getting away from COVID too, getting back in in-person classes, getting in the weight room, we put a huge emphasis on our health this year. Strength and conditioning was paramount in the fall, and then from being in the weight room, being in the classroom, being on the field, that energy was kind of contagious throughout. And when you have a core group of 4-year guys that are bought into the process and competing day in and day out, and you can't ask for anything more.
Obviously, battling through a pandemic and a lot of things going in and out, and things are changing constantly. You became the new head coach, taking over for Rich Hill has been here a very long time. What's the transition been, for you, transitioning from an assistant to being a head man for the first time?
I think it's being who you are, being yourself, and not trying to get in these guys' way, of letting them be successful, right? And keeping the relationships there, keeping the line of communication there, reiterating our core values on a daily basis, and living up to those standards within ourself, focusing on ourself, I think allows us to go out and put a good product on the field.
Real quick, let's talk about Oregon before we talk about Cody and Ivan here. Expectations of what you expect to see from the Ducks. Why did you put them on the schedule, and kind of the the goals for the series, but also the challenges that the Ducks bring.
Yeah, I mean, they're a top 8 national seed last year. Great coaching staff. They're well coached. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to play hard. They're going to force things on the base pass. And bringing a Pac-12 opponent in, a Power 5 opponent, is good for us on the RPI side. They're going to be at the top of their conference. That bit us a little bit last year for why we didn't make the tournament by not winning conference. And by playing, we want to play the best. And these guys, they want to play the best. They're not going to shy away from who we play and who's in the other dugout. And that's credit to them, and they deserve it too. So we're definitely excited about bringing them down here to San Diego.
4-game series. You guys set your rotation yet?
Yes, got it.
You got an opening day starter for us?
Yeah, Garrett Rainey.
All right, so Garrett's going to go the first day. Talk to us about how he looked in camp and why you guys made the decision to have Rennie start the season off.
Yeah, very tough, competitive, fills up the strike zone. And, it's Coach Flora uses the term tough over stuff. And, with that being said, he's a 4-year guy. We brought him in here to do that a couple years ago. He's coming back from Tommy John surgery, and he's shown exceptionally well from the fall to the winter, the early parts here this season in January. He's done a heck of a job of filling up the strike zone and giving us a chance to win.
Let's talk about Ivan Romero to your right. Obviously, he's up here joining us. Part of the pitching staff, a local kid from Poway. How has he looked, and what does he bring to the Toreros program? Yeah,
we talked about this a couple years ago when Coach Flora and I, got here. As far as on the recruiting side, is hey, we can build the back end of a bullpen and have that, kind of the stability there. Let's go ahead and do it. And the thing that Ivan's done is he was very successful at Poway High School, getting people out. And I'll never forget recruiting him, watching him at the CIF championship game at Tony Gwynn Stadium, facing a couple of first rounders in that lineup and a lot of D1 guys at Eastlake, and all he did was shut them down, mow them down with a breaking ball and fastball, and he can work both sides of the plate. And he was just a true competitor on the field. And having that guy that that when the game's on the line you can toss the ball to gives you comfort, as a position player, as a coach, as a team, knowing that guy's going to give you everything he has when he steps foot on that rubber. And that's credit to Ivan, and he believes in himself more than anyone. And that's the thing that kind of makes him tick.
Let's talk about Steady Eddie over there to your left, Cody Jeffries, and the article that Anderson wrote. Obviously, a mainstay in your middle. You got to be good up the middle. Started every game at shortstop last year for you guys. Just talk about him as a player and where Steady Eddie nickname came from.
Yeah, I mean, it started as a freshman. He came in and he wasn't scared. He got in and he was Mr. Consistent, hit the ball to all fields, played hard, and he just brings the same tenacity day in and day out, whether it's practice in the game. And then playing at short, a pivotal position, it's hard to find a guy that's going to be Steady Eddie for you. And for a coach, you know that you're going to put him in the lineup every day, and he's going to give you everything he's got, and he's going to rub off on all the other guys that are playing around him. And Cody did a tremendous job last year for us in the leadoff spot, and then obviously playing shortstop. I think he only had 4 errors for us last year. And he rallies everyone else around him. Everyone else around him when the game's tight or the game's on the line, and you look at Cody and he's just the same. It's the same constant attitude and demeanor, and I think that goes a long way for your ball club.
Ivan, talk to us about how you got ready for the season, your excitement, for the first game coming up on Friday.
Getting ready for the season was pretty easy. When you have a great group of guys, a great staff, a great team to have your back, it's really an easy process to grow in what you want to do, and learning how to be a team player was a big component of the fall, and this organization, I guess, does a great job of teaching you core values and making sure that we're a family in every step of the way. So it's pretty easy to lay it out on the line when you have a great group of guys behind you.
Obviously, new head coach, like we mentioned earlier. What's it like, playing for Coach Ungrich as the head coach now?
Oh, it's great. When you have a guy that trusts you at the top and a guy that wants you to succeed in every aspect of your life, whether that be on the field or off the field or in class, it's pretty easy to be who you want to be in the future and where you want to and work to where you want to end up one day.
Obviously, things didn't work out at the end of the year last year. We talked about the off season. How have you seen, some of the freshmen coming in that weren't necessarily part of the team last year that can definitely help you guys get there this year?
This year, we have a great staff, guys that weren't able to participate as much last year, working their butt off every day, day in, day out, being able to bounce back from those positions and give it all they got this year has definitely shown, and just knowing that those guys will give it all they got every time they go out, whether that be they play, whether that be they don't play, it gives you a great feeling as a team because everybody's carrying 100% of their weight.
Cody, as for you, off season, what was the taste, not making the tournament last year, and how did that motivate you to this upcoming season?
I mean, it's pretty tough, knowing that we were 1 game short. I mean, it's like, I don't know, it's tough, like I said, and so, it's also, a confidence booster knowing that we were that close and knowing that we have the talent to get it done and stuff. So, I mean, just this year, it's just we have so much confidence. We know that we're good enough to be in playoffs and win conference and all that. So, yeah, it was tough last year, but I mean, we're all looking ahead and we're ready to go this year.
Obviously, you had some great things said about you by your coach and Ivan, but for you and going into this year after a good year last year, what are some personal goals for yourself heading into this season?
Just want to win. I mean, it goes back to the whole 1 game thing, like you said. I mean, what matters is what the team does. So, I mean, if we win, then I'm happy. So, it's just the goal is to win conference and make it to the playoffs and go as deep as we can because we have the guys to do it. So,
excitement level for Friday going against a Pac-12 school?
Just ready to go. I mean, it doesn't really matter who we're playing, just ready to get out there and play. So, yeah, it's a Pac-12 school, it's Oregon, they're a really good team, but we're really good too. So, it's going to be fun.
You grew up in Southern California. Obviously, you know how good Southern California baseball is, and every Tuesday night's going to be a battle for you guys throughout the entire season. 3 D1 teams now in San Diego, but talk to us a little bit about what makes San Diego baseball different from all the other teams in Southern California for you.
I mean, for me, it's just fun to be down here. I mean, it's a great group of guys. It's great weather. We've got the best, facilities on the West Coast, I would argue. So, it's just fun to be out here every single day and be able to compete and, knowing that you play at one of the best D1 programs in the country. I mean, it's exciting, and it makes you feel good. It makes everybody feel good. So.
Coach Ugrich put together a pretty tough schedule. When you guys saw the schedule, I hear from both Ivan and Cody. What were your thoughts about trying to go against the best? Because you guys got a nice little stretch there to start the season.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's exciting. I mean, if you want to be the best, you got to play the best. So, I mean, to be able to have this kind of schedule, with all these really good teams, I mean, we're ready to go, and we're excited to see where we stand for sure.
Just like you said, we saw the schedule and we were fired up to get after it against those type teams and to show what we got and show who we are as San Diego baseball.
Coach Ugrich, last one for me. As we get ready for Friday, obviously, and you guys put in the grueling time of dealing with the fall, and now in January and the countless scrimmages. Who are a couple names, for people that follow the program to pay attention to and be on the lookout for because of how well they've played up until this point?
Yeah, Caleb Ricketts, a 4-year guy, mainstay behind the plate. This is going to be his opportunity this year to kind of be our catcher. He had to sit behind McGuire and Kerner the last couple of years, so definitely excited about having him back there and getting his opportunity. He'll hit in the middle of the order for us. And working ourselves around Kevin Sim, local boy from Torrey Pines. Third baseman, first baseman, probably going to get some time at first. But it'll be nice to see him get a steady amount of at-bats, where he had about 80 at-bats last year. So definitely looking forward to him. Dustin Allen, running him out to center field, another sophomore. Just tooled out, athletic as can be, and trying to get him some at-bats so he can kind of get it going and figure it out with the bat. But the defense and the arm and the speed is all there, and expecting those two young guys on the offensive end to really kick it up. Also, Angelo Peraza has been very impressive from the fall into January. He's a catcher, but also can run out to the outfield. He's a sophomore as well. Can handle the bat, shown improvement there at the plate. Also can run, and he's got a plus arm. The versatility is key. I think that we have a bunch of guys that can move around. Sim moving third to first, Peraza catcher to the outfield. Freshman and Justin DeCrecio has been very impressive as of late. This winter, he's going to push the play there in the middle of the infield. And then on the mound, grad transfer in Ian Churchill has been a blessing to have. The experience, he pitched in the College World Series last year at U of A. We recruited him heavily when he was at Santa Barbara JUCO, and he's been very impressive as far as a weekend starter for us. Bryson Motts, another local arm, has been very impressive on the mound for us too. He'll be another weekend starter. Has shown significant improvement since his freshman year, commanding the zone, throwing strikes, and throwing multiple pitches for strikes as well too. Ari Armis, another freshman local boy from Saints. He's done a heck of a job behind the plate and with the bat. Very impressive with the bat. He'll get some time. Will Worthington, utility guy, third-year guy, has bounced around from first to second. He can play a little third, run him out to the outfield. He's going to be in there too, handle the bat, and he's been very impressive thus far.
You got anything to say?
Covered pretty well. I did want to ask the players, for what you went through both as people and players the last 2 years with all the COVID stuff and everything, what did you learn from that or take from that, and how does that kind of help you going forward?
I think those things actually helped us. The COVID years, they showed us they learned how to adapt in situations, how to keep the toes tapping. Just to expect unexpected, basically. You never know with these situations what's going to happen, when you're going to be able to play, when you're not going to be able to play. So just knowing that you always had to be on your toes and ready to go at all times definitely kept the energy up and kept us active throughout the season.
Yeah, I mean, going off of what Ivan said, I mean, I think it has to do with, not taking anything for granted, because, you don't know when you're going to play. So, we were kind of, the past few years, we've been kind of hesitant, are we going to play, are we not? So kind of just don't take it for granted. And, I mean, every day, enjoy it and, play as hard as you can, because you just don't know if it's going to happen or not with, everything going on. So,
Rock, do you sense kind of a normalcy returning, or is it still going to be a little bit unusual in some ways, or how do you?
We had to go backwards when we got back from the fall with the COVID outbreak. So we went back to changing groups and staying out of the locker room. But it's been nice. We don't have masks on the field like we did last year. We're back in the locker room now. And that element as a coach to see these guys really pumped about being in the locker room. And they didn't have that last year. And that was a big missing piece. I know Cody talked about coming back this year. He was excited about, hey, getting back into our home in that locker room and having that camaraderie and that energy going through there. That was something that these guys really missed out on. So that sense of a normal routine is nice for these guys, and you see it, you can sense it, and it brings them closer together for sure.
And from a standpoint of the conference season, who are the biggest teams that you see as the ones to beat in the conference, as well as you guys, and what you see for yourselves?
I think Gonzaga for sure. With returning their arms that they're returning, they're always well coached. They're going to be tough. And they've proven it year in and year out. BYU, we definitely had a good, the last couple of years with them, competing against them. They got some good young arms returning back as well. And it's always every week in, week out, it's always a dogfight in this conference. And so the more that we can focus on ourselves, like Cody was talking about, not worrying about who we're playing, throw strikes, secure the baseball, play catch, and execute on the offensive end. Hey, we're going to put ourselves in position A.
And lastly, for me, I think this might be a normal fan situation, isn't it going to be?
It is. No restrictions for fans.
So what will that be like to maybe have a lot of fans back in this team?
It's exciting. I mean, you always want to have people there, cheering for you and on your side. So, I mean, it's going to be really exciting because, last year was kind of off and on, not really knowing, parents, family, whatever. But this year, knowing that, like, anybody can be here, having everybody out, to be there behind us, it's really exciting.
Yeah, knowing that students can come, just having way more support in the stands. Just having family was amazing, to be honest. But to have students as well, and having everybody in San Diego be able to come and support their local team is definitely a great feeling, knowing that you have the whole city behind your back, as well as a great team on the field.
All right, everybody good?